Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy, with another Global Real Estate School podcast. Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the Business Tech Guy, with another podcast for Global Real Estate School, and welcome to episode 068. By the way, we take the audio off of our live Facebook podcast and we put those on iTunes. So if you are listening to iTunes and you'd like to watch the live recorded video, come on over to Facebook and subscribe to our page at Global Real Estate School. And if you're watching this on Facebook and you'd like to have information on your phone so you could listen to some of the podcast in your car, go over to iTunes and subscribe to Global Real Estate School there. Now, today's podcast, we're talking about the various names for a sales contract. And yes, believe it or not, we sometimes here in Missouri, we call it a sales contract. But in other parts of the country, a sales contract could be referred to as an offer to purchase, an escrow agreement. It could be, I've got several names here actually, real estate contract, purchase agreement, agreement of sale, offer and acceptance. Lots of various names. But here's what I want you to know for the real estate examination. They love to test your knowledge on whether a contract is an accepted contract or whether the scenario is a counteroffer, okay? So here's what is very important to understand. You only have an accepted contract if you have an offer and the person on the other end, normally we refer to that as the seller, accepts all of those terms that have been laid out in the contract. For example, I wrote a contract today with some buyers and submitted the offer to the other agent. Now, at this stage, it's just an offer because there are some things we are requesting that the sellers might go along with. If the sellers accept all of our terms and sign that contract, we have a sales contract, we have an offer and an acceptance, okay? Now, let's just presume the sellers want to make some changes to the contract we submitted to them. In that case, we have what is called a counteroffer. Now, in the exam, they love to ask you these questions, and then they will want to know, well, for example, who's the offeror now? So if the seller's making a counteroffer, the seller now becomes the offeror because they're making a counteroffer or a new offer back to the buyers. And so unless everything has been agreed upon, you're going to have what is called a counteroffer. But if all parties agree to all of the terms and there's no other changes, then you have an accepted sales contract. Now keep in mind, you will see these stories in the real estate questions that will make you think that, gosh, everything seems okay, but the seller wants to close on Tuesday instead of Monday. In fact, they'll word it. The seller was okay with everything, thought it was a great offer, they loved it, had no problems, except they'd like to close on a different date. What do you have in this scenario? You have a counteroffer. And, it's kind of difficult to explain, but when you see these questions and the way they're worded, and if you don't read them 3 times, it's so easy to miss a question like that. So, a couple of takeaways from today's podcast. Be sure and read the questions 2 or 3 times, understand what they want you to answer, and be on the lookout for who's the offeror, who's the offeree, and what is an accepted contract versus a counteroffer. So sales contracts can have different terms, or we can use different terminology for different types of sales contracts. But if you make an offer, the seller makes no changes, accepts everything the way it is, you have an accepted sales contract. But if there's a change, it's a counteroffer. And keep in mind who the new offeror might be. So thanks for watching this podcast on Facebook. Again, check us out at globalrealestateschool.com. We have some great study aids. We're updating our practice exams module that you can purchase. Our flashcards are there, and actually we're going to be offering some video flashcards. So when you not only can test your knowledge on the flashcards, but you will have video feedback and audio feedback. So go to globalrealestateschool.com. We can help you regardless of what state you are in. And if you'd like to get your real estate license, if you're in Missouri, Kansas, or South Dakota, check us out at globalrealestateschool.com. Hey, and Missouri licensees, if you're a salesperson, you can get your broker's license. Go to our broker school at globalrealestateschool.com. As always, thanks for watching our Facebook Live podcast feed or listening to us on iTunes. We hope you go out and have a great day. Thank you for listening to the podcast for Global Real Estate School. I'm John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy. Go out and make it a great day.